Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Here's the 12th of December, 12th of the 12th. Let's have a look. Now, I did take one trade on my funded futures account. That one, where was it? Where was it? Hold on a second. Oh, I took on the NQ. Sorry, my mistake. So, excuse me 1 second. Okay. Speedy, how you doing, matey? How you doing? Right, okay. So I looked at that trade there, actually. We kind of had a break. Now, depends how you look at this. There was some news there which kind of spiked that. Now, there's a possibility of... I kind of had it like this. Where was it? Hold on a second. Or did I have it like that? I can't remember. I didn't know whether there was a bit of an overshoot or not. I don't know. No, I'll tell you what it was. Sorry. Hey, Michael. How you doing, buddy? No, I'll tell you what it was. I was looking at the NQ and there was an overshoot on the NQ. So when I flicked over, I just... So, yeah, second entry. I don't like that. That's one leg down. You don't know when that's going to trigger up and come down and retest these lows. But, okay, market is open. Possible second entry long. You've got to be a bit careful here. And I'll tell you why. I just don't like how high that's gone. It hasn't gone very high. So you don't know whether we're going to come down and have a go at retesting these lows. So I may stay out of a second entry long here unless there's a spike in a channel, which maybe there is. Possibly a spike in a channel. I'm still a bit curious here. Cautious is a better word, I think. Yeah, it's not sort of fanned out very well, or panned out very well. I can't get my words in order today. So as you know, there's 80% off again. To be honest with you, it's not so much the 80% off that interests me. It's more the $85 of the PA fee, and they've kept it at $125. Now, it's less than it usually is, but I much prefer paying 80% instead of 90 and having the $85. So hopefully, if they get some feedback, they may reintroduce that at some point. So we got two legs down. It's hard to know what price is doing here, but it's a bit early actually for me. Leg break, new high, or two pushes to a new high. You just don't know whether it's going to come down and have another retest at this. So there is possibly some support along there. So let's see how it reacts to that line. So let's just ditch that for a minute. But the volume is not too bad overnight. A little bit more than usual. A few days ago, we just had that much. Now, obviously, the news has kicked in and created a little bit. So is that a leg? Two legs back up and a leg down. It may just be trying to retest these lows. It's hard to say. I mean, it's really, I suppose. Let me have a look at the daily. We have had that bit of a pullback, which we kind of thought we may get. We had this initially, and we pulled back. Yesterday we pushed up. We kind of do this, don't we? We pull back, push up, and then come back to the EMA. We kind of did it there. Pull back, push up, and then back to the EMA. So I'm kind of expecting another leg down. Well, I say kind of expecting. It's certainly feasible. So we could get a correction here and maybe another leg down towards these lows here. Are they around about? So they're just above 45, aren't they? which we bounced at, about 40 there. So we could have a couple of legs down here, and I emphasise the word could because there's no guarantees. So let me just see if there's any. No, it's a bit too early really, isn't it, for that? Trouble is, if you put these in a bit too early when you're not sure, you could be aiming the wrong direction. So that definitely looks like a channel. No arguing there. So we're below this area. That's interesting. So if we can come up and retest it, a couple of legs up, we may come down for another leg. So let's just put that there for now. I don't know whether you count that or not. I don't know. See if we can get 2 pushes up. What I don't want to do is bounce here. I'd rather push up. I need to keep an eye on that area. Okay, so we pushed up a little bit and dropped. Come down a bit. Maybe we'll get a second entry. It's not going to, is it? Go on, get back up a bit. Hello, hello. So is that fine support? Okay, so it bounced there. Let's see if it's going to make. So that to me is one effort to push up. Let's see if we come back and make a second one. If that's the case, I'm saying 2 legs down. So that's interesting. So we've pushed up and come straight back down. Let's see if we have another go. In which case, I think overall, it's kind of bearish at the moment. We've had this with the break, strong push down. Leg and a leg, and then straight below the EMA. So my guess is, depending on whether we get a setup here, I've got no issues with going short at the moment because I think overall it's bearish. Even if you kind of look from the latter part of today, I dare say. But there again, there could be an overshoot, which might mean a bigger correction. But if you look, that actually kind of fits, doesn't it? In which case it's an overshoot, but that news caused that, so maybe there's just a correction, a couple of attempts to push up and then straight down. So for me, I think the overall is bearish at the moment. So if we can get another push up and a decent signal bar, I'd have a go at that. But I have to be careful there because there is support there. And it has, well, I wouldn't say bounces are the word, it's actually closed just under that line. If I keep that line tight to there, they've closed under that line and that's sat on top. So we'll see. Trouble is, it's starting to stack up a little bit. It'll have to be a really good looking trade to get me interested. I would prefer really these 2 pushes up a little bit further apart, leg and then a leg. Because there is support there, so it could be bouncing up on support. Possible second entry, short, lower, high. I'm a bit... okay, I'm a bit unsure about this because I could bring that down to there. We've touched once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. If I take it up to there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's a bit iffy there. This could trap some shorts here. It could be a leg and I don't know. I'm just a bit unsure here about whether to treat this as support or whether it's likely to break through it. I don't think I should take a trade when it's above it. Because it could range, and if it does, if I take a short here, it could push down one more time and then go up. It does look like it's coming down, but it may trap shorts. Let's see. If it gets below there, then I think that's okay. But there's no real signal bar there anyway. It's a little bit sort of, it's a bit congested there and not super clear. But there is a couple of pushes up. That's my dilemma. See, it could trap some shorts. It is bouncing on here. So there could be a second entry long there. So a break and an attempt to make a new low. In fact, you could say, well, maybe not. That's actually inside the channel, isn't it? Now we've closed below there. There may be a better chance of staying below, we'll see. So there's your failure there. I prefer that failure a bit higher. There's probably going to be some stops below there, but how far is it going to go down? Is it... let's have a look. If you don't get it right, see, it can really ruin your day. So possibly a bigger channel, but there is support along there, so let's have a look. So there would be a failure. It's very tempting, but you'd be going short into support. Go on, push up. Let's just get an order ready. If it's a small enough risk, we'll see. 1, 2, 3, triple test. Okay, that might have changed my mind. We'll see. Leg and a leg. So it could be, we'll see. It's a little bit sideways there, see. Okay, I think. If that was more rangy, I'd have a go at that. Not where that is. It may work. I like that type of trade, but if it had been a nice square box there, you know, a nice rectangle box with a range, I'd have had a go at that as a failed breakout. But they're at different levels here, so it does look like it's working. But that's just a bit too much for me. It's above the EMA. It could trigger you down and push up, depending how you look at that. The fact that it just shot straight down, it's hard to say really, isn't it? So
order
just going to leave that for now. And there is support there anyway, so it's an uncomfortable. Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Sorry, mate, I didn't see you there. It's an uncomfortable place to go short into that. Because with the exception of that, we haven't closed below. Whether we do now, we'll see. But channel down, we've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go lower, so maybe it may go up, I don't know. But it's a bit choppy here, so it can catch you out. So I'm just going to have to sit this one out until I figure out what's going on. I don't want to go long here, although it's 3 bounces, because it could trigger, come down and give you a lower high from that. Yeah, it's choppy this. So it could go up or it could trigger it and come down. I'm guessing there's going to be some stops along that bottom line. So for me, it's a flip of a coin whether it goes up or not. Possible triple test. I don't like they're at different heights. Okay, that stopped that out. So that's kind of trapped shorts and pushed up. So I'm guessing if it gets above this level, it's probably going to push up some more. But the bottom's looking like it's ranging. We've touched 3 times here, so I'm guessing it's quite likely going to retest this area. It's hard to say, really. So you could say there's a failure there. 2 legs up. You can bet your bottom dollar there'll be some stops along there. Maybe there. So is this a failure? Is this going to go up? It's just the question, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, it's just hard to trade this at the moment. I hate it when it goes sideways because sometimes it can surprise you. You can be that focused sometimes on a direction, it does the complete opposite. So I'm not even going to really begin to try and figure out what's going on here at the moment. I'll just let it sort itself out. Where's my tea? Oh, that's better. US guys still haven't got the Anger tea yet, have you? I think US, you're bigger coffee drinkers than tea, aren't you? We make the best tea in the UK, Yorkshire tea. Or Yorkshire Shires, you US guys say it. You can't get the Anger the Shires, can you? Okay, so excuse me, we've made 3 attempts to go lower there after this. But I just don't like what I'm seeing here. It's a little bit choppy. So I'm just going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs, I think. So what I will say is if we've had a break and a new low, so we've pushed up and we're going sideways. As we know, sometimes we'll push up, go sideways, push up. I thought maybe as these are getting higher and higher, they may be creating maybe a channel, but this doesn't look like it now. So there's nothing you can really do here. I thought, hey, maybe there's something like that. But I think that the shallower these ranges are, the more unpredictable they are. So for me, I think it's just sideways. Let's have a look at the 10,000 tick chart, see if that gives us anything else. It is kind of failing, isn't it, as it's going up? So leg, maybe we get another leg down here. So those 2 big bearish bars there have just triggered. So maybe we get 1 leg and then 2 leg. But it's not really giving us much, is it? We've had something there. News, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, and then maybe down. I kind of thinking at the moment there's more of a likelihood based on the daily that the price goes down. But the trouble is, during a daily bar, price can fluctuate 30, 20, 30, 40 points in this and still finish bearish at the end of the day. So you can't really rely on that. Chad, how you doing? Us Americans like that Worcestershire sauce. See, we don't even attempt to say Worcestershire. We just call it Worcester sauce. In fact, Worcester, where they make it, is about 50 miles up the road. I used to live in Worcester, actually, a long time ago. My stepfather was in the army and he was commuting to where I live. Worcestershire is the area. Worcestershire's the sauce, but we just call it Worcester sauce. I think everyone in the UK has a bottle of it in their cupboard. I tend to put it into things like shepherd's pies. It goes well in like a meat and gravy type thing. It adds that nice little tang to it. Yeah, but I've heard... I used to watch a guy, what was he doing? A crypto guy. And he was talking about it, and it's just find it hard to say. So, is this a leg down? I would say, living in Argentina. HP sauce. Yeah, we have HP sauce. I tend to like red ketchup. My wife tends to like the brown sauce. But for me, if we ever go on holiday, I always take Yorkshire tea. We drink Yorkshire tea in our house. I do like things like Twinings, or Twainings, as you US guys, but they do like a breakfast tea. I like that, but I do like my coffees as well. I've got a Sage Espresso, Sage Barista Pro. I think you guys call it Brevlin. I don't know why they call it Brevlin in other parts, and Sage here, which I bought, I think in July, because I'm a big coffee fanatic. I do like my lattes. And if ever I take up an interest or a hobby, I kind of dive in. So, you know, I've got the little WD-T tool and the you know, I spray the beans before I put them in a little bit with water and give them a shake and then put them in, and then I sort of tamp them out. I've got a decent tamper and all a few bits like that, and I've got it all dialed in. I do like a nice coffee. Haggis, I like haggis as well, yeah. If you've never had a haggis, you best not read the label. Just eat it. But it's nice. It's almost like mince beef. What do you US call? Kind of ground beef, don't you, US guys? So it's kind of like mince beef, and it's got offal in it, so heart, liver, kidneys, lung, all chopped up in it, and it's quite peppery and spicy, but it's really tasty. So if you've never had one, get it, have it some mashed potato with it, maybe some, I think they have neeps and tatties, don't they? Turnips and potatoes, but I used to have potatoes with it and some gravy, but it is a tasty dish actually, and not expensive either. But that comes out after Christmas a little more. I think isn't it something like January the 25th, which is Burns night. But it's a tasty dish. I like it. I like it. My daughter likes it. Wife not so much. Sacrilege, abomination. I think originally it was all the offal and that sort of put into, well, there's things like oats with it as well. It was put into a sheep's stomach and just boiled, wasn't it? But it's a tasty dish actually. It's a very tasty dish. Just tastes like kind of ground beef, sort of pulped together. Quite darkish in colour, but it's very tasty. It's quite peppery. Whether they put that to mask some of the offal, the stronger offal flavours, I don't know. But it's a nice dish. So, my gut feeling is this is going to come down for another leg. But at the moment, I've only got that. I would prefer a second entry short there. We've got the lows of the day here, which was caused by that spike down with the news. What do we have called? PPI. PPI and unemployment claims, which created that. Have you noticed lately, every time now we get a spike in the opposite direction and down? So I used to love trading OCO orders, order above, order below. But lately it just seems to shoot in the opposite direction. And then, so what I may do if I have another go, I might just pick a side, and if it happens to come my side, then I'll get lucky. Or the trouble is, if you end up moving your orders further up, it doesn't go down enough to pass an evaluation. So if we can get a second entry short here, I'll have a go at that. There's bound to be some stops along there. There certainly probably will be there after that. I dare say there's probably going to be some bottom hunters. But now we're below this, I don't think it's going to come back, unfortunately. So maybe this is just 2 legs down. It is a shame, really. If we had a little pullback there and a lower high, I'd have had a go at that, which would have been a failure. Lower high, second entry short, but it just went, unfortunately. It does that so many times now. I don't know whether Mac will ever introduce first entries again if they, if the context is adequate. Grab the scalp. Yeah. Now we're below this and we push up. Gut instinct is telling me that it's likely to have leg and a leg, which is the equivalent of the bigger leg here. But I still kind of wait for. The trouble is, I'm one of those all or nothing type of people. I've either got to do something as perfect as I can, or I tend to just get a little bit silly. So I tend to wait for something that tells me this is a good setup in, rather than me going, I think I like it. But yeah, after that push down, but you never know if it triggers and pushes up, makes a slightly higher one. Sometimes we'll have 2 legs like that and then it'll come down, and sometimes it'll pick off that one. Having said that one, if that bearish bar is that snug under there and it's very close there and it has pushed above and then closed, I think the chance of that going down then without triggering out, I think is pretty reasonable. So I always like them when they're snug under the EMA and we've pushed above it. But yeah, I still wait for the second entries. I mean, you can't even really say it's a lower high. We've got a channel there and it's only a break really, so it's only a first entry, unfortunately. But I would say this measured move is probably going to get played out, and they may even go below there. In fact, so I'd say there's a channel there, kind of fits with a break. If we'd have had a second entry, I'd have 100% had a go at that, which is a shame. And I'm on a good run at the moment. I've had 9 3-point winners in a row, so I kind of want to keep going there. Although I shouldn't really count like that. It's too late now. We're down here now. There's nothing we can do, really. Yeah, someone traded that as a breakout pullback. I don't kind of see how they did that. I don't think you can call that a breakout pullback, can you? It's not really. Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. London session was kind of flat. No continuation. I've never traded it. Can you trade? Oh, see, London session. Yeah. I don't know whether you can trade anything like the FTSE with Apex, can you or not? I don't know. I have a feeling you can't. The Nikkei was another one I looked into as well. I don't know whether you can trade that, because sometimes, depending on what time zone you're in, it's worth trading these things. Just obviously, I think that's the good thing about trading. There's always a market to trade that can fit into your time zone or lifestyle. So, if you're working daytime, there's always something somewhere you can trade in the evenings. Trader, is that Trader TO there you're saying, is it, bud? So, mind you, I kind of like my lifestyle at the moment, not having to worry about getting up too early. I get to the charts usually around about 2:10, and trade live for around about 2:30, give or take. I like to get my chart up and just check it and double check it, everything's set right, so I get no surprises. But we've got a couple of two-seater leather settees coming tomorrow, so I've been chopping up the old ones today. Well, the old one, we got rid of one, someone had it, but so I've been stripping all the leather off, taking all the foam out and chopping up all the wood so it can fit in the car. I don't want to pay £50 for someone to pick it up for me. So we got a nice new set in. I've been painting the kitchen as well till about 2-3 o'clock in the morning again last night. So I like having a nice freshen up sometimes leading up to Christmas. This is interesting, look. So I wonder if there is something like that in play. It may be, you know, maybe. I don't tend to pay attention if we drop out during the news, but look how it's working there. I wonder if there is something like that. I wonder. We'll soon tell us if we get a return back from here. I don't usually pay too much attention to if it drops out of these, because obviously it dropped out for news. But look how that's reacted. Let's see what happens there. Let's clean this up a little bit. So maybe, you know. Maybe. Yes, I beat him to it. I put that up there. Someone else has just said, I don't know whether it is or not, but touch. I'm not too bothered about these because that's the news. So it actually kind of fits in a strange, odd, sadistic way, doesn't it? I'm trading again. Switch to. I'm over trading again. Yeah, it's easy done, mate, isn't it? I've found a kind of a nice balance at the moment. Unfortunately, I haven't taken a trade this week. Having said that, I'm doing okay. I think last week I had 2 trades, but that's up $600 per account. A week before I had 4 trades in a row. That's up $1,200. So even 2 weeks, I'm up $1,800 in 2 weeks per account. If I can get to close to $2,000 per account over a month, I'm more than happy. I thought it was interesting just to put that there, and it did. It went up there and hit that point. But 1, 2, 3, and it is hitting here, isn't it? Depending on how you look at it. So I think it. I mean, sometimes I put those there not because I necessarily believe that's the case, but I just want to see how it's reacting with this line, and it kind of reacted how I thought it could do. Yeah, over trading, it's a tough one, isn't it? You've got to be super disciplined. Now, I'm quite impulsive to a degree, I am, and I thought I would struggle more than anything with discipline. I thought it was going to be the hardest hurdle for me, and surprising enough, it isn't. Just sometimes taking a loss, I think, is what I still suffer with a little bit. You know, we all do to a degree. No one likes, losing money. We all, think if I've got 3,000 in mine, it's my money and I don't want to lose it. And, but I am getting better at it. But discipline, I'm okay with now. I don't seem to have a problem with it. So I think you adapt and adjust and overcome till something seems to fit right. And you know, it's trying to find that nice sort of even ground, isn't it, where things tend to work better than anywhere. And I seem to be on it at the moment. I don't do anything silly anymore. Touch wood. But I seem to be in the best place I've been in for a long time. I'm enjoying trading now. I went for a stage of absolutely effing hating it, as we all do from time to time. But I'm in a good place now. You know, I'm taking less trades, and I think that's the key, less trades. Having said that, it's not that for everybody. You know, some people take 20, 30 trades. It depends on your strategy. But from a Pat's point of view, yeah, sometimes I miss out on trades, but you know, sometimes I'll say, oh, I don't like this, and I'll see 3 or 4 people in it, and it'll go against them. So I kind of like how I think. But ultimately, we all have to use our own judgment, don't we, to decide, because ultimately it's not affecting anybody else by you. So I seem to be in a place that works at the moment. And I say at the moment, I shouldn't say at the moment, because that's indicating that it might not last. But yeah, I'll tell you what I would suggest it. Do you use Ninja Trader, do you? Because I use this. I use a piece of software called Guardian Angel Trader. Will it let me open it? Might not do. I have it on one. Yeah, I use this Guardian Angel Trader, so I can set certain parameters. So allow trading time. So I can set times that I'm allowed to trade, and I do for my other accounts, but this one I don't. I can set daily loss, so I can also set total trade, so position loss, so losing trades, so I can set 1 losing trades and it blocks me out. And I can always add a little bit of fluctuating. What's the word I'm looking for? I can actually say put this to $50. So, you know, if you get into a trade and you get out and you get a little bit of slippage, maybe $25, $50, which you technically haven't lost the trade, it filters that out. So it gives you that little tiny bit of flexibility. Winning trades, losing time out. So I can set, if I have a losing trade, I can set 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, which it won't let me trade. All this grays out. And also I can lock settings, so I'm only allowed to get back into the settings in a certain time in the day. ATF rules, so I can allow it to don't let me DCA. And the settings, I can even hide Ninja scripts, so I can't delete the software. I can also lock my stop orders, so I can only move it towards my profit, not away. So there's loads of things I can do there, just kind of to protect me. Fail second entry long. Yeah, I don't tend to like those. I prefer a little bit above, but it is working from this area at the moment. So yeah, it's a great bit of software, and if you don't use it and you are struggling with blown accounts, it's a small price to pay. You soon save that. And I tend to do that. So on most of my accounts, I have it so I'm locked. So if I have 1 losing trade a day, it won't let me trade those now until tomorrow. But I have a floating account, which I can continue just 1. But I believe it's only available for Ninja Trader. I'm not sure. I dare say they'll introduce it out onto some other platforms, maybe. Yeah, the trouble is with rhythmic settings, you can go straight back into them. So if you've got on tilt and you've got it set in rhythmic, it takes about 5 seconds to get back into rhythmic. It's called Guardian Angel Trader. It's $399, I think, but if you blow a few accounts, you've saved that money. But it's a fantastic bit of software. So just Google Guardian Angel Trader and you'll find out where it is. If you need a hand setting it up, just give me a shout and I'll talk you through it. It's a little bit tricky when you first start, but you'll soon get the hang of it. But it's great. The trouble is, it's easy to say I'm gonna go on a diet as soon as I've stuffed down a 12-inch pizza. But come tomorrow morning when you're hungry, you know what I mean. So that's why I like it. So if you do happen to get into the midst of going on tilt, you can lock it in the cold light of day so it stops you doing it. So this area is working nice now. Leg down, 2 legs up, leg down, 2 legs down, up, 2 legs down. Just measured move, yeah. So, it's almost, in fact, it's like a spike in a channel, this, isn't it? Yeah, it's a spike and channel. Daryl, I had a mini tilt session yesterday. I hate the feeling after it. Makes you feel sick, mate, doesn't it? It's horrible. Actually, on top step, there is a lockout function I use when I go back. But yeah, good point, mate. That is. I used to absolutely hate the feeling of being uncontrolled and on tilt. It used to make me feel physically sick. In fact, sometimes, even for about an hour after, my heart used to seem to be beating at about 90, 100, 120 beats. And I've had it like that for about an hour after trading when I've lost control like that. It's a horrible feeling. Fortunately, I don't get it anymore. And I'm going to say anymore. I'm not going to say at the moment. But it's a horrible, sickening feeling. And I'm quite happy never to have it again. I'm going to buy the first good green bar down here, are you? For the overshoot. It does, yeah. It does. There's a girl. What's her name? Is it Creeder? Creeder. She has a YouTube channel where she helps traders, and it's always like that fight or flight thing. We kind of switch off. You panic, you switch off, and you go into sort of auto mode, and the panic sets in. And she describes it as like almost like someone else takes over the wheel, and you've got no control. And it's exactly what it is. But you know, I've done it a lot, but it does go eventually. Things. So sometimes when you get a spike in channel, it'll go like this and it will break out into a sharper downtrend. So maybe that's what it's doing. I don't know. But yeah, it's a horrible, sickening feeling. I hate it. I do. It used to make me feel horrible. As soon as I jumped into another trade, I used to go, damn. And when it goes against you, you're kicking yourself, aren't you? And then when it goes in your favour by a few ticks, you're scrappily trying to get back to where you were. It's a horrible feeling. And if you are doing that's a good reason to think about something like long lost. I'm in short. Yeah. Do you know something? I never fight the markets unless I'm trading an evaluation, and sometimes I feel it can't go any further down. It's got to have a pullback. I did it with an evaluation yesterday, and it went against me. Well, obviously we know the market went up, didn't we? Yesterday, but yeah, fight in the direction of the market. There's always a possibility that there may be a 2-tier channel if this comes down here. It's kind of working in the top tier. Got the scalp stop here. Yeah. I wonder if it will come down there. You never know, do you? Run a dinner. See, although it's an overshoot, it's also in a channel in its own right, so because although this is coming down, there's a lot of consolidation in there, isn't there? Oh, Sam, how you doing, my friend? Don't tell me. Let me have a guess. You're in a trade and you're up 20 points so far. I've got to start looking at the bigger picture. I have. How did you know? psychic, mate. I'm psychic. You know, sometimes when you first came on the stream and you went, I'm up 10 points, I'm up 20 points, I'm up 15 points, I used to think, oh yeah, he's just making it up. And then he'd send me pictures of it, and genuinely he was. He's very good at reading the bigger picture. And every picture he sends me, he's in deep, doing really well. So I used to think you were just, you know, making it up initially, but then when you sent me your pictures, well, you can't lie about that. Close the scalp of you. Yeah, it does seem like we're getting some downward stuff today, doesn't it? So, what's I just going to do? Okay, Bitcoin 101,000. Ethereum's doing well. That's about $52 shy of 4,000. We haven't hit $4,000 yet. Let's have a look. Link's up nice again today. I got some Link. That's up 17% on the day. It's up 100% over the next month, over the last 30 days. So I got some Link. Sui, that's a diamond, that one. Sui's up 360% over the last 90 days. It's up 20% today. H-bar, I got some of that. Render, I've got some of that. That's not doing wonders at the moment. It's up 38% on the month. I had high hopes for that. And Ondo was that. That's up 100% on the month. You have a few Link, yeah. What I did is when my money... I haven't got a lot in it. I've got... I don't know. Well, I just took a chunk out. When mine hit 100%, when it doubled, I took out my original stake. So I think I've got about $1,200 in there, which is not a huge amount, but it's free money anyway. So there's a failure there. So if you think that's an overshoot, there's a short failure there. But I'm just staying out at the moment because this is in a channel of its own. This is quite choppy, so this is more dominant. I think, but I haven't taken any Link yet. I've taken some Doge. Doge has done pretty well. I bought Doge at about 7 cents, 8 cents. It's up over 40 now. So, So Thomas Wade, bless his cotton socks, is got that. He's took it from there, which doesn't really make much of a difference to where I've got it from. But what it does mean is it fits there. So I think he may be onto something there. So I don't think it's a huge difference from kind of where I had it, really. We're kind of sort of moving in that same direction. So yeah, somewhere around here anyway. I think it's kind of it's very similar actually to how he's got it. He's got it coming down. He's got it from these three. So I don't think it really matters whether you incorporate. You know, if I take that to how he's got it, it's that. There's no real difference, but it kind of does. So we'll see. Okay, maybe a couple of legs up and down some more. Trouble is, where I had it, I think initially there was an overshoot. So channel down, leg and a leg. Let's see where this goes. So we've kind of done very similar to this, haven't we? No, it's a lie. Taylor has got, where's he got it from? Taylor's gone from there to there. Now, that may mean there's a bit of an overshoot. Yeah, you too, buddy. You too. The side of the channel. Thanks, Lance, as advertised. Bless your socks. Yeah, it's going that way, isn't it? What, did you take the failure or something, did you? There's got to be some shorts in there, isn't there? So let's see how this reacts to here. So yeah, there's a few different... Taylor's got that down here, which I kind of looked at as well. Kind of a two-tier. In fact, I think I probably prefer that. It's reacting the same way. So depending on how you add this, there could be a bit of an overshoot there. So I'll be a bit cautious about going for a short straight away. Yeah. There's a little double bottom there. I mean, it's fitted on that midline, isn't it? And then we had that little drop. So, see, that's interesting. It's going to have to be, I can't just take that. It's going to have to be, hey, Jan, how you doing, buddy? So it depends how you've got this, really. I had it like that initially, which meant there may have been an overshoot. Please explain reversal patterns. I don't really follow reversal patterns, to be honest with you, bud. I mean, from an overshoot point, you know, after overshoots, often we can, you know, well, it'll do a bunch of stuff really after an overshoot. Sometimes we'll get a deeper correction. Sometimes the thing will just sort of turn tail and push up in the complete other direction. I'm not sure that this is what it's doing at the moment. Yeah, we're coming to crunch time here, aren't we? So that overshoot may have caused that. See, I think there's definitely something there, but Thomas Wade's removed his now, so it's surprising sometimes when you remove it, the perspective just kind of disappears. So I don't know at the moment. I can adjust that ever so slightly to there. I'm willing to do that. I can put that there. So sometimes I'll give it a little bit of breathing space. That still fits. This is where we opened the day. Touching there, touching. As long as it holds here. Yeah, so something's changing here, so let's remove that. It's hard to say, really. Break, new low. Yeah, it's just a bit unclear, I think. There's definitely something there, I think. I think something like that, and there's an overshoot, which to me then is look like, well, this kind of looks like we're having a bigger correction. I prefer corrections when they happen like that, more or less side by side, not tight together. After that overshoot in this, we could end up just ranging today, really, if it bottoms off here. But even with that leg down, if we're going to continue for another leg down, you'd expect a correction. Let's have a look. You know, we come down, we had a correction, we come down again. We come down. So let's just clean this up a bit. So I like that anyway. I think it's touching 3 times there. You may even push it. I don't know. Let's leave it like that for now. It is working like that, but then that looks like an overshoot. So let's just see if we can get any... why? No, I don't like that. Maybe there's something larger. I'm just going to leave it for a minute. See what happens. Things taking off, that is. So, leg down. Maybe we get a correction. I mean, that thing's taking off. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 points. It's not huge, actually, is it? It looks a lot more than it is. So maybe we have a correction here. I don't know. Let's do that, I think. But you wish you'd have held on now, Kirk. Wish you're getting down here somewhere, didn't you? Problem is, you never know where it's going to go. Really, may come up to here, bounce and turn, don't you? Yeah. It's frustrating though when you see that. It doesn't often do that though, does it? Can't go long here really because of this area. So, in case anybody doesn't notice, Apex have done the 80% again. It was about time they did something. Now, the one-off fee is $125. It's lower than it usually is, $140. But I really got used to the 85. So, whether they do that again, I don't know. I kind of hope they do because that was more attractive than the actual evaluation price. So... it's there anyway if you want to use it. I'm not taking any at the moment. I think I'll see how I feel. I don't want anything just at the moment. They offer straight to PA. Well, apparently they are, Jay. I don't know when, but Daryl Martin mentioned they're looking at it. So I think ultimately it depends how much it cost. So I dare say they're going to hike the prices up. So at the moment, so you pay 85. So you're paying about, say, $35 for argument's sake, and 125. So you're looking at about $160 at the moment to pass an evaluation and to. So you think it's going to be what? You make a guess. You're thinking probably at least $250, maybe something like that. I don't know whether I want to pay that much. It depends. I mean, if you can't hold a PA account and you've not made any money, I probably would advise against it anyway. Because the trouble is when you're sort of learning and you start an evaluation, you want to aim for a PA. It's natural, but if you're not kind of there yet enough to keep it, you're just throwing more money away. So I would always say, just think about your pennies when you're starting. Only ever have one evaluation. You don't need any more. Learn on the one, get that experience on the one, but I wouldn't touch an evaluation now for 12 months if I was going to start again and I knew, how it worked. 200 will be okay, I think. And maybe they'll have offers on those. I dare say they will. They'll have deals on those. But if you can keep a PA account and you can make money, then obviously it's worth paying. You pay $200 or $250, you know, by the end of the month, you withdraw a couple of thousand or 1,000 or 500 or whatever. It's more than paid for itself. So if you're making money and you're getting payments, then yeah, it makes sense. Get in, get up quick. You know, if you pay, say, let's say you pay $200 and you get 10 of them, there's $2,000. If you've withdrawn $2,000, you're putting in. It's not so bad. Absolutely not, yeah. Until you can, I would say, spend 12 months on a sim. Easily 12 months on a sim. And then I still don't say you're ready to start making money, but I think you're ready for the next step, which is exposing yourself to the emotions. But only ever get one. The trouble is, when you get an evaluation, you naturally think, I want a PA, I want a PA, I want to get to a PA. And it's the wrong way to look at it, really. I know it's hard, but I've said it so many times. Some people, they'll get 5 and they'll get 10 and they'll copy trade them. But you blow one account and you've blown 5 of them. It doesn't make any sense. So only ever get one at a time, because you're just going to throw your money away and it's expensive enough to learn anyway. Just trade a micro. Trade a micro. But ultimately, what you're doing, you're exposing yourself to the emotions that you get when you're trading, which is another level of learning you need to go through. Undoubtedly the toughest. The skill kind of comes in time. And the emotions do as well, but the emotions are kind of more painful, aren't they? As we well know, but yeah. And then you can absolutely, yeah. You pass when you start to make some money. I'd say when you make some money, then use a bit of it and buy more, but don't use your own money out of it because it's expensive. I spent over $30,000 on learning to trade, and it's expensive. Now, when I first learned to trade 4 years ago, I went with a guy called Andrew Lockwood, who traded. Worked in the trading pits in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s. He worked for Swiss Bank for years. He worked all over the world. And he started to work for himself and trade from a computer from home. He told me he lost 150,000 having to relearn again from a computer. So the more excess, the more spare capital you've got, the more money you're going to throw at it. And it's the wrong thing to do. But it's hard to listen to someone telling you that when you first start, because you're full of all these ideas, and you know every day we're reading about how much Joe blogs down the road is got paid out this month, and it fills your eyes full of dollar signs, and you start throwing money at it thinking it's the way. Soon you believe you have figured it all out. The market will tell you absolutely right. Yeah, just when you feel like you've cracked it, the market has a real way of kicking you up the arse and saying you haven't cracked it just yet, mate. And I had that quite a lot of times. If I follow my rules and stick to my plan now, I can make money. But it's so much fine-tuning. I mean, being a trader is almost like a Formula 1 engine, for want of a better word. It takes so much tuning and tweaking until it purrs like a kitten type thing. And that's how trading feels. It's tweaking tiny little things, and it's all these little calculations that are going on inside inside your head while you're trading, what you're looking at, but it's like anything. With experience comes skill. Any type of job you do it enough times, you get better at it. $30 seems cheap for an eval. Yeah, the trouble is when it's cheap like that, even when sometimes it goes down to $17. Do you know what? About a year ago, as you guys know, I like a whiskey. I like single malt. About a year ago, it was on a Friday, and I opened a bottle of. I just bought a bottle of Balvenie earlier in the morning. A Balvenie 10-year-old Scotch whiskey, and I popped it on when I was streaming, and I know some guy in the background said he said I never say anything, but as soon as that cork popped, it pricked up my ears, and I had a whiskey. The last sort of 10 minutes. And to cut a long story short, 2 hours later, I'd had about another 4 or 5 doubles, and I'd blown 10 evaluations. So although drinking takes away the nerves, it's just not the right way to do it. So yeah, you do some stupid things, you really do. I was hoping we get 2 legs down there, but you do some really silly things. But you have got to really pay attention to your money. It's very easy to fly through it, and you don't want to do that because it does make that learning experience so much more painful. And if you ain't got a lot of money, whatever, I don't think they should let you put them. I put mine on credit cards and just pay at the end of the month. But I think sometimes it can be a bad idea. So maybe there's just a range here. We've just slipped into it. But yeah, it can be so expensive. That's fitting tight in it there. We've had a nice break and a straight up new high. Unfortunately, that's the story now. So many times we just break, push up. Obviously, it's not a huge channel. Obviously, a bigger channel, I would expect something a little bit more substantial. Gap at 60.87. Looks like we may head higher anyway and fill it. I don't even fully understand gaps so much. Never really paid much attention to him. Whether the market gaps up or gaps down. Point short there. You went there, did you? Yeah, break. Kind of 2 little pushes up, bounced off there. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can make money from a point, can't you? You use a runner, Jan? You don't, do you? You're just kind of in and out. If you're a competent trader, you can make money scalping a point. It's the yellow line on your chart. Let's have a look. Are you on about here, are you? $87. Yeah, you're on about there, aren't you? Yeah, I get them, yeah. It gapped up, didn't it? Yeah, it gapped up. Yeah, I get them. I thought you were talking about something else. I didn't see it, to be fair. Gap down. Yeah, sorry, down. Whether we'll get there or not, who knows? Excuse me a sec. Okay, so let's have a wee look here. Thomas Wade's just put that on there a minute ago, so he's looking at the range as well. I think it probably is just a range at the moment. 4 ticks work, but I have 9%. Yeah, you have to, don't you? Sometimes I let the trade run if I feel it could. Yeah, sometimes you'll get a feel for it. I mean, if we get a nice leg up and we get a nice, really nice quality, and there's 5, 6, 7 points, I think, yeah, sometimes it's definitely worth going on. I mean, sometimes we'll get an absolute blinder of a trade. 2 beautiful legs down, nice strong bar off here, and trades like that tend to work well. And if you've got maybe 5 points to the high, then yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Sometimes if I think I like this, then I might hold on a bit. So we had a break of that, 2 pushes to a new high. We've broken, closed above this level as well. So channel break 2. I'm not thinking about short at the moment, because we could push a bit higher. Although I've got a range on there, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a range I can short at the top of just yet. I want to give this a little bit of time to figure out what it wants to do. I thought if we get a pullback from this, it may go down some more, but that's literally moved back nearly all the move, isn't it? With the exception of, added on yesterday, maybe we get 2 legs, and maybe we do get a leg and a leg, and then it comes down by the end of the day, who knows. But in the meantime, I can't go short here, really. Although it is a couple of legs up, you got a bearish bar. You think it may push down to there, but as we're above there, I just want to sit tight at the minute. Sometimes if you're getting a bit premature, it'll trigger you, stop you out. But we have had a break and 2 pushes to a new high. But I'm just sitting tight here at the moment because we got some highs up here as well, which it could push up. So let's see. This may work and it may come back here, but I'm sitting tight. The ATR's low again. So if I go for 3 points below here, I got to get down below that ATR. Mine's got to push to there, and that's a no-no. So straight away, if you did take that, it's triggered you and it's moved up. Top step has a tilt indicator, does it really? It shows you 78% long on the ES. Does it really? That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, well, look at that. 78% long. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, really? I mean, we had this big push up, didn't we, yesterday? We could have a couple of legs, and then, I don't know. Who knows? I might have to have a look at top step, actually. I don't think I've ever had they don't do any offers or anything, do they? I think they just keep everything the same price, don't they? I do hear good things about them, though. I know they've been around for quite a while now. In fact, I asked the CEO a question once. He was doing a chat, an online chat thing, and I asked him what Top Step could do for me that Apex couldn't. I can't remember what he said now, but so this is interesting. So I'm guessing now we may come down here. So let's see. Let's have a look at this. So channel break, 2 pushes to a new high, and a strong move below the EMA. So we've had a little breakout of here, but is it a breakout? You never quite know, do you? You don't know whether we're going to end up doing something like that, do you? Didn't get to overnight highs yet. Could lead to a range for a bit. Yeah, it's starting to look like it may do that. I do like the fact that we've had a nice looking channel there with a break and 2 clear pushes up to a new high. I just wasn't ready to go short there just yet. trade. So today I have something to do. Yeah, you take it easy, Jan. Have a good day, buddy. You've got the best trader life I know. Mind you got a little, haven't you? That's hard work in itself, isn't it? Okay, let's see what we get here now. So channel with a break and a new low. Yeah. Thomas has just got the same thing. He's just popped that picture on there now. So he's looking at the same thing. Range up here, channel, break, 2 pushes to a new high, and then down into a channel. So we want a couple of attempts to go up, and then maybe we come down then. So break, there's a higher low there. Let's see if this triggers. See, there's always a possibility we could end up having a wider channel up. I wouldn't have thought so. We're coming away from the top there, so I think this is more rangy than a wider channel up. Not sure about this. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, guys. I'm going to go and make a drink. And I will be back in about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, what's going on here? One leg up. See if we can get a second leg up. I don't think there's any type of a larger channel going on there. Not sure about that. It's getting a bit congested there. So leg up, we could get another leg up, test this. It's hard to say. It's a possibility. Let's remove it for the minute. It's actually dropped below and pushed up quite strong, that is. So it's actually dropped back in there, funnily enough. Channel down, 2 attempts to push up. We'll see. It's possibly there's something bigger. I'm not sure just yet. So leg and a leg, bearish bar. Just don't want to go long or short here at the moment. There may be something larger, which means that one might get eaten up. It's kind of a leg break and a leg and a new high, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm just going to sit tight here. This could come down, but it could go up. Could be channeled down. 2 attempts to push up, but this is risky. This is, it's a bit trappy. You can bet there's going to be some stops below there. But try and push that up again. Doji, so there's definitely some uncertainty there. What's going on? If we can push below the EMA and give us a lower high, then that may interest me. Okay, that short stop's going to get eaten. You just can't trade anything at the moment. It's just too risky. Could go up, could go down. That's that eaten. It is 2 legs up, but it's above that EMA, so it's just hard to know what's going on. There may be something larger. Or it could go out, stop that out, and then come down. There's a bunch of stuff that could happen. Yeah, I've kind of tried it a couple of times. I think it'll probably... Val set an entry short, you mean, bud? So, like... Yeah, maybe something like that. It's hard to say. The thing is, if it's ranging, this might not, but from the bottoms, yeah, that one there. There, fell second entry short. Yeah, eyes are getting confused. It's short if it's from the bottom, long if it's from the top. So there, fell second entry short. See what I mean? We're ranging here. Look at that. There's some selling there. So you can bet there'll be some longs in here. What's on the range? Yeah. Trouble is, we don't know it's a range, but we don't know it's not. And at the moment, we went down, but then we took it all back, and we're more or less up to here. So, and not only that, channel down, it's 1 leg up, 2 legs up, stopped out anything like this, weaker positions, and then a big bearish bar. So, lower high that may interest me. You just so got to be careful. The trouble is, especially when it's at an area where you're thinking it could bounce here, there could be a way up. See, what we know is we've had a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high, and then we've come back into the channel and we've made a couple of attempts to push out. That's pretty significant, that bar. I think there's definitely some selling there, but it hasn't triggered yet. So if that does trigger, pushes down and get a lower high here, there's going to be some stops around there. But you never know when something like that's going to happen. I didn't expect that. After that bearish bar came in, I thought this is probably likely going to go down some more. And That pushes straight up. Not that it's over yet. So 1 minute looks like it may come down. What I will say is I'll either go up or down, with the exception of a bit of sideways. So it never triggered that bearish bar anyway, so from a Pat's point of view. So maybe there is something larger there. If it gets up to here, then I'll start thinking. Okay, excuse me just for a couple of minutes. My wife's just come home from work. I just needed to tell her something. I'll be about 2 minutes. Sorry about that. It's like my mother-in-law's not very well at the moment. Wife's been out taking her to the doctors. Okay. That is starting to look like it may be a channel up. We'll see. What I want to see is how it reacts to the overnight. In fact, we've had a little bounce there. That's the open. Overnight highs there. We've had 3 little touches there. So we'll see. So we got a leg up. Quite maybe well get another. We'll see. In fact, it's quite a choppy day today. Although it is moving in a direction, there's a lot of whipping up and down. Yeah, it's kind of making its mind up here, isn't it? Know what it wants to do, really. Are we going to push up again? Or are we going to try and touch this area and maybe come back into the range? Who knows? Interesting. So is this coming back, or are we just coming back to here? That little gap closed as well, didn't it? So is this thing looking like it's about to tumble back into the range? Interesting. Yeah, it's crunch time really, isn't it? It is looking like it's trying to push up. See if it closes off that overnight highs. Yeah. I wouldn't know whether to go long or short here at the moment. It's kind of crunch time, isn't it? It could go up, it could come down. I mean, it could drop, come back into the range. Depends. It looks like it's trying to push up to the all-night highs. It could tag that and come down. It could start to work up. There may be a spike in channel of sorts. But But we are trying, we could try and then fail and it may come back down. It's hard to say at the moment. It's kind of looking like, let's put it from there and see if we can, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I can't seem to get anything I really like at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it and kind of see what it goes. But it could continue on up, or it could hit a point now and turn. I may have a little bit of quiet Christmas music next week. I'll continue to talk a lot of rubbish as well. you won't want to be deprived of that, but I may have just a little bit of quiet Christmas music playing in the background, see if we can get with the season a bit. So we've made 3 attempts to push up now, so it's kind of like a triple test, isn't it? That one, it's I'll show you where it is. It's this thing here. It's called Desktop Clock Time Zone Widgets. Change the color size. It's obviously we got the time up here, but I like to have just a quick glance, and I kind of like it. I think it was about £2 I paid for it, something like that. But I got it through Windows. Just went onto Windows website, and there's loads of them. You can change the color, change the size. But it's useful just so I can have a quick glance. Obviously mainly this time, but yeah, it's useful. We got up here, but it's a little bit too small, and sometimes you've got to zero in. It's and I can just flick my eyes there, and I can tell what time it is. So there's kind of like a second entry along there. It's bouncing off the top, but I don't like it. It's just more choppy than anything. It could go up, it could come down. For me, it's a flip of a coin, I think. It's trying to go up, but sometimes trying just isn't enough. It may turn and fail. What a scalp, just a gamble. It's frustrating when you kind of do that, isn't it? We've pushed up. There is 2 attempts to push lower, but really it's more just whipping up and down a bit. So for me, I just got to sit tight here. Surely before the range. The stop survived barely. So you got Trump in office soon. I mean, when is it? Is it January sometime? I'm surprised it takes so long. In the UK, you get kicked out within the day. Usually, as soon as you find out you've lost, you get the removal guys in and they get your stuff. Nothing today, bud. How about you? Yeah, nothing today. Yeah, when we have a change of Prime Minister, it's all kind of done and dusted within a day. The removal guys are there, taking everything out, while the new Prime Minister goes and meets the Queen King now. You neither. No. It's not been a lot, really, is there? It's been quite choppy today. Another bit of a difficult day. January 20th is inauguration. Yeah, it takes so much time, doesn't it? Yeah, in the UK, you boot it out within the day. New president goes up, gets officially invited by the king, as it is now, to take Parliament, or to pick pick his staff, whatever he does. So possible failure here to go long. There's going to be some shorts in there, you can bet. Would I want to take a failure here? It's looking like it's moving up. There's going to be some stops there. I would say it's very likely to break above there, but how far it'll go, only that's it, only the cat remains. But yeah, it's pretty quick in the UK. Yeah, they don't hang around. They don't hang around. Lynch mob come in there and you're gone. Yeah, just the cat remains. There is a failure there. There's going to be some stops there. Trouble is, it ain't finished yet. You're already at this level, so it could push up. Yeah, as kind of tempted it is. And it does look like a spiking channel to me. Trouble is, it's also a little bit sideways. There's just no room left. You can't take that, in my opinion. Personally, from a Pat's point of view. It is looking to me like a spike in a channel. It's just trying to find somewhere that suits. I'm not sure about that. It is whipping up and down, so it could trigger yet and come down. We go up, we come down, we go up, we come down. So we trigger the long there, we come down. Push up, pull down, trigger is short, push up. I'll be surprised if it doesn't break above that. There's a big bearish bar there which is triggered. There is a triple test there, so there's bound to be some traders short in that, I'd have said. I wouldn't personally, because it's just a bit unclear. It could shoot down or it could shoot up. I got no clue, not a clue. It's just sitting away. I'm not even a massive fan of this at the moment. Es possible. We'll see. Let's see if this is a larger channel. We could just kind of be going sideways and then push up. I'm not convinced it is. It's dangerous to trade here. It could go either way. Got another boring day as well. Lots of chop. It's pretty hard to trade this, really. I think that was the only one that I seriously considered, but it was only a first entry, unfortunately. And the same again, looking for something here, but just straight up, and then it just dropped. No way in. Does make you wonder whether if you split this up, let's drop it down to the 1500 tick chart, see if it offers us anything more there. Possibly there. Still nothing there. Couple of legs up, nothing there really. There was a second entry long there which worked. Channel break, new high, double bottom, kind of. Yeah, it was 2 legs down, a second entry long, that worked really well. Sometimes if you just take it, just change the ticks, it changes things a little bit. I still wouldn't have taken that, although it kind of looked a bit like it. It's just a bit congested for me, that is. So yeah, 1500 tick chart, that's one that I'd have been interested in, I think. Let's put that there. So we have a channel up with a break, 2 legs down, closed above that AMA. Looks like it's working up. I may have had a go at that, and it did work quickly. So you never know. Sometimes changing these, and from a Pat's point of view, well, most ways I think you can trade anything, any chart, any time frame really. It's just finding something that gives you enough setups. It's just stuck in a rut at the moment. I'm bored. I am. Been hard this week. I haven't taken a trade this week. Well, not on. Excuse me. I have taken a couple on my funded futures account. That's passed now anyway, that has. January the 20th, so yeah, it's about 5 weeks, isn't it? 5, 6 weeks. Yeah, I'm surprised it takes so long. And Biden's pardoned his son, hasn't he? I know it might not be the done thing to do, but I think his days in politics have about come to an end, really. What is he? He's in his 80s, isn't he? He's not got long left. Well, let's rephrase that. I think his days in politics is probably numbered. He's just getting a bit old and dithery now. So I suppose last act as a father to pardon your son. Would you do it? I probably would. You'd do anything for your kids, wouldn't you? He did say he wouldn't, didn't he? But he did. It's his last act. If he was a young guy with a longer political career, then maybe. But I think his days are numbered for politics, really. His age is getting to him, unfortunately. You don't like to see anybody struggle like that. But he has struggled a little bit, hasn't he? Right. I'm not saying his son deserved it, but from a parent point of view, yeah, I kind of get it. What I will say, looking at this, there's kind of like a leg and a leg down. It's very tempting, something like that. See, as I'm looking at this, but forgetting about this, it's just choppy. Now, that's an interesting point. Someone's just put that on, and there may be a reason to take that based on what you see in there, but America's, they say, by a porn star. Strange things happen in politics, don't they? What was her name? I forget her name now. What was it? She's got a really catchy. Was it Dusty something or something like that? Wasn't it? I can't remember her name. Misty something or Dusty? I can't remember. Stormy Daniels. That's it. Stormy Daniels. That's her name, isn't it? What is going on here? Penguin. He does put out loads of messages, Penguin. What's he looking at now? You know them all. See, you're ex-military, aren't you? So you've probably been around. What do they call it? Raoul's Rose Garden. I had a friend who was in the guards that protected the Queen at the time, and he said he spent some quality time there when they were down in. I think it was down in Belize, wasn't it? I think. Was it Raoul's Rose Garden in Belize or something? I can't remember. Expecting rain. What is going on here? Are we holding here? We have got a little double bottom there. It could go anywhere. Get a little stormy. You never know. Something I've never tried, actually. Well, I say try. Is try the wrong word. Experience, shall we say. Maybe one day. No, you never know. It's an honest profession, isn't it? It does look like a spike in a channel, doesn't it? But I don't like this. It's kind of looking a little bit choppy. So Alt Roads in Puerto Rico. Roads we used to call it. Not far from Gidmo. You've got to keep those fighting men happy, haven't you? Is that still being used, Gizmo, is it? That isn't. It says in Cuba, isn't it? Is it the south of Cuba? I can't remember now. I have been to Cuba myself. Not there, fortunately. I don't know whether it's still being used, is it? I'll tell you what I'm going to do is just move this up and see how this looks up here. That actually fits kind of nice, doesn't it? Touch, touch, touch. A bunch of touches there. So I'm starting to think that that is probably I don't need. It does look like it's just in a range to me, so you would think down would be the place to go. There's a big bullish bar there. Let's see if that triggers. It's a tough one though, isn't it? It's still quite choppy. So yeah, a couple of people have got it joined as a range. So it may be a range, but that big bullish bar has just triggered. So let's pop that there like that. So that doesn't look overly bad. It's still a bit premature in my opinion to go short there. You could call it a lower high, I don't know. But I'm sitting tight here just at the moment because it's also a little bit rangy. Let me just get rid of that. It's a little bit rangy, so but it does look like there's something working there. Duty to the shop. Big scandals. So that to me looks vulnerable. Yeah, someone else has just put a channel down there. I think trouble is we know there's support there, so I don't really want to go short there into support. I would prefer a couple of breaks, but I would suggest that that is vulnerable. But who knows? Someone else has just put that channel down there, so there's at least a couple of us starting to think he's got it more as a range. Same there, so but I wouldn't want to be in that trade there anyway, so that looks like it's heading towards extinction, I'd say. It has just triggered above it. I mean, it is looking like it's coming down, so you'd think that would be yeah, stops are going to get targeted there. Can't see it massive amount of buying there, but you never know, do you? Put a stop check. You've got a colourful life story to tell. Okay, yeah, so you could have taken that engulfing, I think. It's just too far, really. So, based on that, I would say this is probably going to come down now. So a second entry short closing below that line may interest me. It's always an issue. Okay, so that's fitting kind of okay as long as it doesn't get much lower. A little bit of a pullback, couple of legs up, second entry short here, be interested. Yeah, we do, yeah. If we can get a couple of legs up, now we managed to get through that support. But yeah, it's pretty much looking like a range, isn't it? We've got this leg down there, maybe a correction, maybe we're going to get down here. I wouldn't be shocked if we got another leg down, leg and a leg. I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest. We had kind of the, do we have kind of the same there? But unfortunately, we need to get a pull back up to here somewhere before we can get anything off that. We may do. If we can get a couple of legs up and close behind that below there, that would be even better. Sometimes this thing just takes off. There's probably going to be some stops below there, and we're very close to them now. I hope it doesn't break down any lower. May go without us. Yeah, so there was a second entry short there and kind of like a failure, but it's a bit choppy. It's in this, but it did work. But trouble is, when it's going like that, it's hard to pick a direction because at the time, you don't know whether there was something larger, so I didn't really want to short there. But now we've pushed down and below this. If we can get a couple of legs back up, my gut feeling now is this is likely going to probably come down. Leg down, maybe a push-up break, couple of attempts. We shall see. As I say, as long as I got a rough direction, it's more how it looks rather than how it counts. Triple test. You got triple test there, yeah. My concern is if it breaks below there. Let's have a look. I tend to not fight the trend lately. I have tried it in the past. Didn't really work well for me. Yeah, that's my issue. It went a bit, came down, stopped out. It'll probably go now. It always does that. Market's got a really clever way of making you miserable. So I think the best thing to do now is just act like a really suspicious husband. You won't go far wrong, I don't think. Question everything. But I had an email with Mac. One of the most recent emails I had with Mac was quite a while back now. He said, don't look for a reason to take a trade. Look for a reason to not take a trade. So that's cleared out any long stops, if there is any. So let's see if we can get a couple of legs back up. This is range and see. It may just decide to come down though. Yeah. So I would suggest that would be an overshoot. Mind you could take it from there, couldn't you? So we're going to have a correction here, in my opinion, before I get in. A couple of legs up, what I'd be looking for. Okay. Yeah, I think he's right. I've changing that. I think this is more important now. Someone else has just put that there and it looks better actually. So if we can get a couple of legs up, 2 legs up, we may get another leg down. But this pretty much is looking ranging now. Having said that, leg down, I wouldn't be surprised if we had another leg down. You never know. Let's have a look at the daily again. Certainly expect it, can't we? Yeah. That's kind of what it does, doesn't it? It comes down, pushes up and then drops, comes down, pushes up and drops, comes down, pushes up and then drops. Same again. We came down, pushed back up and then dropped. So it's just a couple of times down. So it's 2 legs really, isn't it? So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up down here around, what's that, the 640s, somewhere around there, 630s. 640s, 630s, down here somewhere. So 650, you never know. There are bottoms down here, isn't there? And there as well. So you never know. And down. It's kind of like a correction, isn't it? It's not I mean, that big move steep. Cause for the SMC trap. I don't know what that means. You might have to... Wake, oh, what's that? Wage, oh, wake. I'm not sure what that is, bud. So, okay, couple of legs up. That's a good start. I like the channel, so I'm going to get an order ready. Because if we do get something, I want to make sure I'm ready for it. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, see, Thomas Wade's got it as an overshoot. I actually like it as it is. This to me, in fact, yeah, this to me is just more congestion, really. I prefer this. Thomas Wade's got it like that. I just think this is a lot of chop, personally. Is anybody else? Yeah, he's got it the same as me. That's the 5 or 10,000 tick chart. He's got his overshoot. Let's just bring this a little closer. I have got two charts that I'm looking at, so I want two proper legs, though. I'm not bothered about this overshoot. Two proper legs is a decent correction. ATR's gone back up a bit now. I like it around about the 2, I do. It hasn't got to move so far, then your points. Okay, there's one leg up. We need something else. I mean, even if that is right with the overshoot, this is coming down in a range to me. Even as overshoot, I just want a bigger correction, which is kind of what I'm looking for anyway, to get in a leg and a leg or a correction. Yeah, it's just under. Well, it's a couple of whatever it is. It's a couple of points or whatever. No, it's not points or whatever it is. A couple of somethings under 189. It's just under 2. I like it around 2 to 2.5. I like it. Oh, come on, get back up. Have another go. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's bang on 2 now. It is on my chart. I mean, I like my 3 points. That's why I wait for setups that I'm sure are gonna give me those 3 points. Two a day instead of throwing money at every. Yeah, you've got to wait. I mean, I've tried it so many different ways. I mean, we all go through that stage, don't we, where we kind of throw money at it. You think that's the answer, when really the only way to make money is to outsmart the market, isn't it? And that doesn't happen many times. So you just got to sit down. I mean, I've mastered. Well, I say mastered, it's probably a strong word, but let's call it mastered the art of patience now. I've got better at it, put it that way. I don't think you ever really master anything in trading. I think there's always a surprise around the corner sometimes, but I think it's just knowing when something doesn't sit right, it doesn't feel right, and you're best staying out of it. I'm getting much better at it. And it's kind of lots of fine tuning, isn't it, to get things to work. Excuse me a sec. It's okay. I thought there was some knocking. For this, it's got to push a bit higher for me. I'm not getting stuck in that. It's too far from that EMA. It's got to get closer. It's got to act like more like two legs. Come on, push up. Although there is probably going to be some traders who have this as a range and are maybe trying to trade it back into it. But it's out of my rule base, that is. It's just too far from that EMA. I'm not doing that. It's acting a bit stacked now. We could do this before we push up and have another high. So you jump in here, it triggers you, pushes up, stops you out, gives you an absolute belter up here. I've learned to just wait that little bit longer, and it does pay off. Premature used to be my middle name, and I don't mean that in the bedroom type of scenario, but I always used to get in just that little bit early. It used to stop me out, and then always go the same bloody direction. It's frustrating. It's just too far from that EMA. It is a little bit congested there, so for me, that's just a bit of a no-no. I'm not saying it won't work. In fact, do you know what? I wonder whether it's all right. I was going to wonder whether anything like that would fit. Does it fit from there? Maybe. Maybe there's something like that, in which case it might not be terrible, but no, it's not for me, unfortunately. Lately so. I don't know how many times I used to get stuck in stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it triggers you, comes back, and it's like, oh my God, not again. You do learn. You just got to wait for it. You're getting a bit too early, triggers you, stops you out, and then ends up giving you an absolute beauty there. And what I used to do, I was famous for, I get trapped short, and as soon as it pushed up, I'd think, I've got trapped short, it's going long, and I'd jump in long, it would trigger me and give us an absolute beautiful short. I don't know how many times I did that. So 2 losing trades within the space of 2 minutes. Yeah, trouble is with that red bar, it is too far. In the grand scheme of things, it's a million miles away from that EMA, and there's sometimes they'll trigger like it did. I thought that was going to push up. Very nearly did, and then push up, bounce here, and then give you an absolute beautiful second entry. Sometimes it'll just work anyway. I did wonder whether there was something slightly wider there, which is why it might have continued down. Oh, there you go. Thomas Way's just popped that on there, literally right now. So maybe it is something like that. I mean, even so, there's more of a reason if the channel looks like that to not take that trade. The trouble is, sometimes they'll just work anyway, but more times than not, they'll trap you. A little bit congestion. That is just too far. So many times it'll trigger you, push up, stop you out, and then give you an absolute lovely short trade. How far has that actually gone? So if it would have had to push through to get 2 points. Maybe this is coming back a little bit. Let's just pop that there a minute. Maybe there is something there. If we're in a range anyway, usually we'll come down in some sort of manner.
Order cancelled.
Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a minute. Okay, channel down. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. We can still take this as a penguin style trade, I think. So that would be a failure, wouldn't it? I would prefer to wait for a lower high there, I think. Just in case. I would prefer that before it got down a bit lower. Yeah, I know what you're saying, bud. It's gone a bit too far. I don't mind if it goes a little bit, if it looks right, but that one's just pushed up 3 strong bars. It is 2 attempts to push higher, so based on what I'm seeing here, it would be the lower high that I would be interested in, and not just, I mean, if it did something like this now, something the same sort of thing, then that would interest me, but I just don't like the fact we've had this channel as well with a break, 2 pushes to a new low and a strong move up. The way this market's going, it may just, I mean, there is some support along here, so it just may just test somewhere here, I don't know, but it would have to be a lower high because that's moved up quite strong. There is some support along there, as we can see. You can see it right the way along there, so, but now... I like that even less now. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new low. Nice bearish bar there, but it would still have to be a lower high. Because it could still trap you that. I like the way it's formed, but there's just nothing to take there just at the moment. If we do get a lower high, then that may interest me. Yeah, so on my other chart, that bearish bar's triggered. So look, we know where that's going. There we go. So that didn't last long. So market's playing around today. It's not easy to read. It is chopping around. There's not been a lot in the way of setups. The only thing that may have been worth taking after this overshoot is maybe the higher low there, or maybe even the failure, but the failure was a doji. It wasn't a big risk, that, so the ATR was low there, so depending on, I had so many times I added something larger than that there, but the way that is fitting there, that looks like an overshoot to me, so I don't think that was terrible. It wasn't a huge risk, and then obviously it took off. Yeah. Nothing I can see up here. It's been like that quite a lot lately. So if this is ranging, we've actually pushed back into the range there. Not an easy day today. So maybe we're having something like this. So it's possible we have this leg down and we have something like that. And then we have another leg down. Who knows? Seems a bit extreme, that does, to get right near the top. Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? Trouble is, this kind of really started to confirm it, didn't it? And then when this pushes down, you think couple of legs up and then down another leg. But all of a sudden we have a break, two little legs down, and we go up. We're struggling to get down. So it's inconsistent. If you look bottom here, bottom here, it's inconsistent really, isn't it? So it's hard to know exactly what to do and where. I suppose, you just got to follow the price, haven't you? Channel break. We're looking for something here, two pushes to a new low. We get a break here, can't trade this, gone too far. So this would have been the ideal place if we could get a second entry short there. And then it obviously went and did what it was supposed to do. So in there, push up, we just came back, had a bullish bar, and up it went. It does that so many times now. That's what I mean. Are we going to get to the stage where we're going to be taking first entries more? A first entry when its price is tight to the EMA, I've not got so much of a problem with. When I say tight, I mean going long something. So we had that push up, and it was a second entry long there, but it's congested. So, if it's snug under that EMA, I don't mind them. When I say snug, I mean that type of snug. I mean, really, there's just a first entry there. If it can get nice and tight to that, sometimes, a lot of the time, it doesn't bother having a second attempt. I suppose when it fits there is some traders are thinking, well, let's not have another go. So, I don't know. I suppose it's something to keep an eye on. If it keeps happening, then you may have to, adapt your rules and say, okay, as long as it's nice and snug below that line and looking very bearish, maybe we have a go at it. Or maybe we drop down to one contract and have a go at it if that's the case. So, the risk is less. The profit's less, but it's okay to make some profit as long as you're risking less. It's going to be one of them days again today. It's 3 days without a trade. But I'm okay with that. If there isn't any, I'm okay with that. If I've missed loads, then that's fair enough. But this is not easy. It's very tight, very choppy, and very trappy. It's hard to trade stuff like this whipping up and down, and, we get a break, we don't get a second entry, we come down, we get a break, we don't get a second entry. There, break, only a first entry, there, break, only a first entry. We get a second entry there, but the signal bar's naff, so it's not easy trading this. There was kind of a second entry short there, but I don't know about you, but I'm not up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's not easy when it's like this. Sometimes we have, sessions like this where it'll go like this for a couple of 3 weeks or something. And then just something will happen and you'll get 2 trades within the space of 5 minutes. But you're thinking it's ranging, like Max says. Ranges are easy, but you can't buy any of these. Really. There you probably could have done, but you can't buy anything here. You can't buy anything here because you don't know whether it's going to come down the bottom. And when these bottoms are constantly at different levels, it's almost impossible to sort of... The only thing I'll say about that is I messed around a lot with the channel, but if I'd have seen that now, 2 legs down with an overshoot and knowing there's going to be shorts trapped, a higher low there, I'd have probably had a go at that. I don't think it was a massive risk. There are certain circumstances where I will counter trend. That's probably one of them. We had a little double bottom there and a tick above, tick below. You're risking a 1.75. That's not a lot to be honest with you. But if you get it right after an overshoot, if you can catch some of that move, you could make 10 times that potentially. But it's so hard to trade. In fact, I'm going to finish now. I've been going for 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's just one of those days. I may come back and have a look later. I don't know. We'll see. But I haven't eaten today. Tell a lie. I've had one little thin chocolate bar an hour ago. So I'm quite hungry. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I don't know. It's not an easy day today. So I'm guessing there's probably not a lot of trades around. I've not seen any really that float my boat, unfortunately. So I'll leave you guys to it. So I hope you get somewhere. I hope we get out of this range, or at least bouncy. I mean, if we bounce a third time, so I may come back for half an hour late. We'll see. But I'm going to go and get myself some food. So best of luck to you. Have a great day. Stay safe. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Bye for now.